Okay, so this tutorial is how to play in a suit contract, which obviously happens 50% of the time. You're either playing in a suit contract or you're playing in no trumps. Okay, that's all you're playing in. So here, North has opened the bidding with 2 hearts. South has bid 2 no trumps, which is an artificial bid, asking partner to describe their weak 2. North now bids 3 diamonds, which shows a feature in diamonds, okay, in this case, the king of diamonds, and better than a minimum week 2. So here you've got an 8 count, so that's pretty decent. So South then decides to bid 4 hearts, and that is game. So East leads off top of the sequence and leads their king of spades. Now, when you're playing out a suit contract, what you need to do is go through every single suit and work out how many losers you've got. And you do it from one hand, and you call that hand the master hand. Now, you can either make the master hand the one with the most amount of trumps, or you can make it the hand with the most points, okay? Usually, it's easiest to do the one with the most trumps. So here, we're going to make North the master hand. Okay, so we're going to go through every single suit. So spades, we have 1 loser here. Okay, so by the way, before you do anything in bridge, take a minute to think and go through the whole hand. Don't just immediately play the ace of spades because it might be the wrong card to do. Okay, so getting back to our hand, we count our losers. So spades, we've got a loser, but it's taken care of by the ace of spades here. So in spades, we have 0 losers. Okay, so 0. Okay, hearts. Now we've got 6 here and 3 here. That makes 9. Now, if you go back and look at another video I've done, this 8 ever, 9 never means that more than 50% of the time, if we just play the ace and the king of hearts, the queen of hearts should either drop as a singleton. So most of the time, more often than not, we're gonna not lose any tricks in hearts, okay, by playing this 9 never rule, okay? But check out a previous video. I'll put it down in the link if you haven't seen it, on the 8 ever, 9 never. Okay, so in hearts, we're also going to lose none. Okay, so that's spades and hearts done. Now the diamond suit. Here we've got the king of diamonds. Now we've got 3 losers effectively, but we use the high cards in dummy. So on the 8 of diamonds, we're going to win it with the ace. That'll make the king of diamonds promoted. Okay, but we still got the 9 of diamonds loser. Okay, so we've got 1 loser in diamonds. Okay, so we just do that for now. We got 1 loser in diamonds for now. And clubs. Now, if we play a club to the king, it could lose to the ace. And then if we play the jack of clubs, we're going to lose that to the queen. And then we've got the 8 of clubs loser. So in clubs, we've got 3 losers. Okay, so in total, we've got 4 losers. Well, that's no good because we can only afford 3 losers. So we need to do something about it. We need to do something about the diamond loser and the club loser. We've got no spades or hearts to lose. Okay, hopefully. And we just got 3 club losers and 1 diamond loser. So what could we potentially do about the diamond loser? So we could take a finesse. Okay, so this is the kind of thing you do. Once you've sorted out your losers, you try to figure out a solution to stop them being losers. Okay, so we could play the 8 of diamonds and put in the jack. We could take a finesse. It makes sense to take a finesse rather than playing for the drop. And when I say playing for the drop, that means we're hoping that the queen of diamonds drops in 2. Okay, now that is highly unlikely because there's 7 diamonds out. So the chances of the queen of diamonds dropping in 2 is remote. Okay, it's a small chance, but there's a 50% likelihood that the queen of diamonds is in this holding here in the east cards. Okay, so it's either here or here. It's 50-50 wherever it is. We don't know. They haven't done any bidding, so we've got no no clues of who's got the queen of diamonds. So that's one way potentially we could avoid a loser in diamonds. We've got a 50-50 shot at it. Okay, so it's not a definite loser. It's 50-50 whether it's a loser or we can avoid that loser in diamonds. Okay, so clubs. What are we going to do about clubs? So we could play a club towards the king, and hopefully again the ace might be over here. Now if the ace is over here, we can play a club towards the king. If they play low, we put in the king and the king would win. If they play high, so in other words, if they've got the ace, we can play the 6 and that sets up the king. Okay. Now let's suppose though that the ace of clubs and the king and the queen of clubs aren't in the right place for us. This hand's only got 2 clubs. So what we can do is we can ruff a club. Okay, so once 2 clubs are gone, this 3rd club we can ruff as long as we've got a heart to ruff it with. Okay, so we've got to make sure we've got a heart to ruff it with. So that's what you need to do. So we go through all our suits, we find out what losers we've got. We then figure out a way of how we can potentially get rid of that loser. And then lastly, we go through the method of best play, of playing the whole hand out. Okay, so you can take certain suits in isolation. So in other words, the diamond suit, it's right to play, say, the king of diamonds first, play the 8 of diamonds and put in the jack. Okay, but it might not be right to do it in that order. It might not be right to do those things first. You might be right to draw the trumps first, or to draw 1 trump first, or to tackle another suit first. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So first things first, we decided we need to go up with the ace of spades, and we're going to do that. Okay, now we need to ruff a club. Okay, if the clubs don't work out quite right, so we shouldn't really play trumps. Okay, we shouldn't play trumps because we're going to need those trumps, or we're going to need at least 1 trump anyway. That's all we need, 1 trump to ruff a club. So we could play a spade. We've got enough trumps here to ruff, and now we're going to play this club towards this king jack. We're hoping the ace of clubs is over here, so this is part of our plan. Remember our grand plan? Okay, so maybe just go in with a 7 here, because why not? You can see the 6. Let's beat it and force out the king. Okay, we play the ace. Okay, so this hand's now got the lead. So this hand thinking, well, looks like they're trying to ruff some clubs here. They're playing clubs and they haven't drawn trumps. And I've got 3 hearts here. I know this hand has bid 2 hearts and has got 6. This hand's got 3, so my partner's only got 1. So that 1 is completely useless. Whatever it is, if it's the king, it's coming down in 1. I know that. So I'm just going to play a heart back. Okay, I'm trying to take these hearts off the dummy and stop them roughing these clubs, because I'm pretty certain that my partner, or I'm hoping, should I say, that my partner has got something good in clubs. Because if you remember the bidding, let's click this button here, find out the bidding. The bidding went 2 hearts, 2 no trumps, 3 diamonds. Now this shows a feature in diamonds. So they've gone past 3 clubs and they haven't bid clubs. So therefore they don't have a feature in clubs. So they don't have something good in clubs. They don't have any high card points in clubs. Okay, so partners should have clubs. So it's a good idea to always refer back to the bidding. Okay, so now we're going to put in the jack. We're taking a free finesse when they return a heart. And they go in with the queen, and obviously we're going to win that. Okay, so now there's only 2 hearts out. Okay, so now this time we're going to play a club back to the jack, and maybe hope this hand has the queen of clubs. Okay, so we put in the 6 and put in the jack, and they go in with the queen. Okay, now this hand now doesn't have a heart to play to try to knock out these hearts, so simply plays the queen of spades, forcing declarer to ruff it. Okay, which they don't actually mind. And now we're going to carry out our plan. We're going to ruff a club. Okay, but before that, we're actually going to draw 1 round of trumps. Hopefully the hearts break evenly. So we're going to get rid of something useless. We're going to get rid of a club. Okay, now we know this hand's got another heart now. Okay, so we can count 3-1, break. But we can't draw another round of trumps. okay, we have to hope now that this hand has a club, okay, that we can rough this club. We're roughing this losing club. That's what we're doing. We're dealing with our losers. So we play our club, okay, rough. Okay, and it worked. They didn't over rough. That's great. And now we can actually now play a spade. So the defense has gone slightly wrong here. So I'm going to rough. And now this 7 of spades is now a winner. So we've managed to set up this very slow trick in dummy. Okay, we're now going to draw this last trump and chuck away our losing diamond. Okay, and we'll just simply play a diamond. So we've actually found another way of getting rid of this losing diamond without now taking the diamond finesse. Okay, so the defense has gone slightly wrong here. And we can see now that all the hearts are gone, all the trumps are gone. We can play this last spade and throw our losing diamond away. So there you go. How to play a hand in trump suit. Okay. And that's what you should do with every single hand. So whenever you're in a suit, take stock, wait a minute or two, even take longer if you need to, if it's a really quite a complicated hand. Some hands are more complicated than others. Make one hand the master hand. Okay, and it's usually the one with the longest trumps. And if you've got equal trumps, it tends to be have your own hand. If your points are very, very equal, then you tend to sort of use your own hand as a master hand. Or if one hand's got a lot more points than the other, you tend to make that the master hand if you've got equal trumps. So one hand you might have 4 hearts, another hand you might have 4 hearts. Okay, you might play in 4 hearts, and you might have equal points. You might have both got, say, 13 each. So then it doesn't really matter. You tend to choose your own hand as the master hand. But usually the hand with the most trumps, it's easier to deal with because you tend to have less losers kind of thing to deal with. Here, for instance, if you looked at this suit, so you could go through here and go through each hand and see that, well, you should have no heart loser, but here you've got 4 spade losers. Okay, so you've got to deal with 4 spade losers. Here you've got a diamond loser and you've got 2 club losers. So you can see if you're making this the master hand, you would have 4 spade losers, a diamond loser, and 2 club losers. Okay, so when you count your losers, you always make an assumption that all the finesses are going to fail. So in other words, when you play a club towards the king, you're going to assume that the ace is over here. So you can see you've got a lot more losers when you're dealing with it, and they won't balance up. Okay, so when we first did it and we counted these losers, there's none here in the heart suit, none in the spade suit. We had 1 diamond loser and 3 clubs. So it's 4 losers in total. But when you count the losers here, you've got 4 spades to lose, a diamond to lose, and 2 clubs to lose. You've got 6 losers, okay? So it makes it harder. You've now got to deal with 6 losers. So that's why it's usually best to make the master hand the one that's got the most trumps, because you tend to have less losers, okay? It's less to deal with. So it just makes the hand easier to work out how to get rid of the losers. So hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I'll provide a link about the 8 ever and 9 never as well, so you can have a look at that, because I think that's quite an interesting in bridge that comes up a lot, that people get confused with and not too sure how it works exactly. So